So Cyberschool has a new integration coming. The PowerSchool integration has finally been completed. And so essentially, if you utilize PowerSchool as your SIS system, you'll just want to notify us and make a request for the plugin for it. And then we'll send you the plugin zip file. You don't want to extract the file, you want to keep it in zip form. If you extract it, it's not going to do anything for you exactly. So everything is actually done from the PowerSchool server. On the Cyberschool site, you're going to want to open up SIS Integration and then choose the PowerSchool option. This will just open up 3 new fields for you where you input the client ID, client secret, and PowerSchool endpoint URL. I'll go over what each of these is and how to get these. But once you do receive the Cyberschool Connect PowerSchool Plugin zip file from us, you're going to want to head over to your PowerSchool server. You should see something like this. This is just the kind of test PowerSchool server that they provide for you when you're a developer. But it should all be the same thing. If it's not, go ahead and let one of us here know, and we can schedule a meeting to walk you through it. But essentially what you're going to do is you're going to head over to System and scroll down to Server, jump into System Settings. And from here, you're going to want to go to Plugin Management Configuration. If this isn't the same for you, you likely have some form of plugin management dashboard or something along those lines. It may not be the same for you. It may just be on the left there for you where you go to plugins or something like that. But what we have for you is a zip folder, and you're going to want to hit Install, and you want to choose the zip file. You don't want to extract it again. Again, don't extract it, excuse me. You want to keep it as zip file, and then choose the zip file here. Choose file, choose the PS Cyberschool Connect .zip, and then install it. PowerSchool will handle the rest. All that's really required from here on out is to enable that. So here's that Cyberschool Connect plugin. You're going to want to give this a check. And when you run through this, it's really just a kind of approval process where you see all the data that we're requesting access to, things like attendance codes, code sets like relationship codes, phone codes as well. This is all stuff to pool information so that we can kind of handle that and bring in some contacts, make attendance calls. You'll see things like email addresses or person email addresses, just the way that PowerSchool handles contacts and guardians, guardian contact information, things like that. Even daily attendance for making those attendance calls. And so if you're okay with view only access, that's very important, is that we're only requesting view only access. We're not going to be changing anything in the actual PowerSchool data. We're just going to be reading it and handling that, making requests, things like sending out attendance phone calls through Cyberschool Connect. Nothing really through PowerSchool. We're just pulling the data so that we can tell who's absent or whose parent contact information is associated with which student, things like that. And so if you are comfortable with all this, go ahead and hit enable. If you have any questions about some of the access for requesting, just let us know and we can tell you what we're accessing that for. All right, cool. So that's been enabled. Let me just double check Cyberschool Connect. It does have a check mark. All right, so we have the plugin enabled. So you're all set up to configure the integration. All that's really left is to get this ID, secret, and endpoint. So you'll want to jump into Cyberschool Connect, head over to, this is where you can take a look at those requests as well. This is all the stuff we're requesting, and this is all the queries that we'll be running on the website. But that may not mean anything to you. So to go ahead and jump into Data Provider Configuration. And just a little note, this is sensitive data. You're going to want to take this client ID, copy that, paste that in there, and take the client secret and copy that and paste that in there. If you happen to have any trailing points, there's a space there or there might be a space on the end or something like that, it's okay. You don't need to get rid of those. The programming, once you hit save, it's going to reduce those for you automatically. The last thing we're going to need is the endpoint URL, and that's actually up in the URL here. I'm going to take this HTTPS partner 5, all of that there. and yours might be like, example.powerschool.com or something like that. It's really just this beginning part here, everything up to the .com. You don't need the / or anything like that. So once that's all done, we're going to hit Save Changes. So this is going to refresh. Any minute now. There we go. All right, and now PowerSchool has been connected. So this opens up a whole different venue for you in terms of what you can do with your alert system and your sending out attendance calls. If we open up SIS Integration, everything's all set there. Over in attendance calling, you'll see we can enable it. I've already set it up to test it out for my website here, but you'll see we can enable or disable attendance calls, choose a time for that to happen, select which schools we want to send them out to, even choosing what codes we want to send out to. If I select edit, you'll see this is all the codes. There's that absent code, a blank space for present if we want to notify parents or guardians about which children were present, truant, on vacation, unexcused. This is all stuff that you set in the PowerSchool server, actually. And then you can even change the message that's sent out as well. Or even head over to import, and then we can also, set up an import. And the import option will pull in that contact information and place them into alerts and subscribers. So it's automatically going to import. You'll just choose the primary phone number type. This is all set up on PowerSchool as well. These are all pulled directly, even that unspecified phone type. You'll choose which school to pull from. This is all PowerSchool schools, and which school to import into. And then the relationships to import. If you want to import all the fathers, you can choose father, or all the mothers, you can choose mother as well. And then this option here for only importing legal guardians, I found that PowerSchool has a kind of unique flag setting called legal guardian, and it's either true or false essentially. So if you only want the legal guardians imported, you can check that off. That's fine. If you want all guardians, let's say all guardians if the father isn't a legal guardian, but they are someone to contact in case of emergency or something like that, we can leave that unchecked. And then the imports that we do, let me actually do an import here. We'll say legal guardians only, import contacts now, and then just refresh this. It'll actually tell us this import here is for legal guardians only. So we import one legal guardian there. Let me click run once more, and then refresh. Okay, maybe it's happening too quick, but you'll see we have one person that's being imported. Maybe if we can somehow legal guardians only, that's fine. I think it's saying 0 because I've already imported this contact before just as a trial. But we also have the nightly option, which is every night it'll run the import and automatically update everyone on that import. But here in import history, you see this one is not nightly. It'll say nightly up top if it was a nightly import. And so if you really just want to manually import them again, you could just hit run import, and it'll import and update existing subscribers.